want to talk about something a little bit more abstract. Um, Usually I talk about photography tools or videography tools, talk about cameras, gear you use to make videos. But sometimes I like to talk about why you make videos. And more specifically, I want to talk about how to create an audience avatar for you to be able to recognize who your audience is, who you're talking to. So I want to show you the 3-circle method right here. And this is really easy. You can draw one of these by yourself, use a whiteboard, use a piece of paper, use whatever you want. We got these 3 circles. The 3 circles you're going to label. First one is, what do I love making? Okay. The next circle is, am I good at? Not handwriting or drawing circles, clearly. And the final circle, we're going to label that, what do people actually need? So when it comes to what we're talking about in what do I love making, when you get to this circle, you're going to want to write down 3 to 5 things you genuinely enjoy creating. So not what you think is going to get views, but what you would be making even if no one was watching. So say for my channel, vintage lens reviews, I love talking about vintage lens, vintage cameras, film photography. I'll talk your ear off about that. I love making creative process rants. It doesn't matter what this is, whatever you truly love making, but you need to be honest. So if you hate making like top 5 videos or a tier list or anything, don't put it in a circle. We want something that you can make all the time, even if no one was watching, so you don't get burnt out. So in your next circle, you got, what am I good at? So I don't mean like, what am I a world expert at? I just mean, what are you slightly better than everybody else at, So explaining things simply. Here I could put cooking, put playing the drums, a camera, what stuff like that. Finding good deals at Goodwill or the thrift store, whatever. So in your final circle, then you're going to have, what do people actually need? This is the hardest one because you really need to research what's going in here. So, this is, when I say research, I mean, you have to find the questions that people are actually asking. And that means going through like YouTube comments, Reddit threads, maybe go to Quora and see if there's any questions you can answer on Quora. If you're making YouTube videos and someone leaves a comment, take that as genuine because that's your audience asking for a specific thing. So for example, like, I don't know what to buy. And that could be, I don't know what car to buy. That could be, I don't know what camera to buy. I don't know what hot glue gun to buy. There's so many, everybody's looking for it. Nobody wants to get screwed over, right? They don't want to have a bad deal. You can have like, my photos or videos look bad. Need help with that. I can't afford expensive gear. I can't afford this expensive thing that all the other influencers are telling me to get, I don't understand. I don't know how to use a camera. And it could be anything. Again, I don't know how to use a piano. I don't know how, I'm speaking very generally. I'm trying to base this off my channel, my experience, and what I'm trying to do. But I'm hoping this is helpful to everybody. So next, we've got these 3 overlap areas. So between the areas of what do I love and what am I good at in this area, this is your passion zone. These are the videos you can make for yourself, right? I want to make a weird video. I want to have funny sketches. I want to have pastiches. I want to have like set pieces, things like that. That's a passion project. I might not get a bunch of views, but it makes me enjoy my life, right? Between what am I good at and what do people need? This is your service zone. So this is stuff like, you could teach this. You could do things like this forever. I'm like, okay, I have the information. I could keep answering questions, but I'm just going on and answering questions. I'm not doing anything that serves myself. I'm only serving other people. So that's great. You've got a lot of content, but it could burn you out, right? On the other side, this is the fun side. This is between what you love and what people need. This is the opportunity zone, right? You could enjoy it and people want it. This is the best of, So I love making weird, funny videos, and people want that for some reason. Or I'm good at film photography. Guess what? People want to know about film photography. They're asking a lot of questions about it. They want to be creators. They want to make YouTube videos. They want to make TikTok videos, and they're asking a lot of questions about it. That's awesome. This is the starting spot. Now, obviously, this right here, this is ideal, because if it's something people actually need and you're good at it and you love it, that should mean that that you can just make it. This is your primary content, right? You're not going to get burnt out because you love it. And so the overlap, right? For me, with photography and explaining things, and they don't know how to use a camera. Beginner to intermediate photographers and creators who want to make good work without spending a lot of money. And they're tired of like gear hype. They want honest, practical advice from someone who's gone through it, and who's not a guru. That's me. That is how I explain my channel. So now we have this idea of our audience. So to be more specific here, let's name this guy. This is going to become our avatar. So the audience, and this is an exercise where, like, when you're making a YouTube video, if you watch like Linus Tech Tips or those guys, they're very good at it because they are always talking to the camera. Even when they're talking to another person on the screen, you are the third person in the conversation. You are the audience. So who are you talking to when you're talking like that? So for me, for example, let's name this guy Budget Bryce. His name is Budget Bryce. All right. He's 28 years old. He works at a coffee shop. Maybe he does videos on the side, or maybe he streams. Maybe he has a podcast, stuff like that. Let's say, for example, he has a camera, or this could be any kind of gear. This is only really for like a gear channel, but this is like for me to kind of understand. He's going to use Sony A6000. Again, this is really only if you're doing like a gear channel or something like this, but it's helpful because you kind of understand, okay, this is the target audience we're looking at. These are the questions I can answer. So what is his biggest pain point? What is his biggest frustration? Well, he feels like everyone online has gear he can't afford. Every other creator he sees has expensive gear. He can't afford it. He's priced out of making meaningful or good looking content, quality content. And this is going to be the target thing for you. If you're doing this exercise, find this, because this is what you're trying to help, right? So what does he need from us? More than anything, all he needs is permission to use what he already has. Use the gear and the cameras that he already has. Sorry, you can't see this. And he needs honest reviews of, cheap gear. He needs honesty. He doesn't need people, blowing smoke up his ass, telling him he needs to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a camera. He needs to be told that you start with what you have, and it doesn't matter how expensive the gear is. It matters how much practice you get and how good you are at using it. So, what is the answer to his biggest frustration? Specifically from me, and this guy is a budget guy, the answer he's looking for is not, I need to buy this gear, because that's what he's already feeling. He needs to be told, I can use what I have and it'll be fine. And again, this is going to change for whatever your audience avatar is, but for Bryce, that's his specific question based on our 3-circle method. So why do we use this method, the 3-circle method, and the naming of the audience avatar? The main problem we have as content creators is, I don't know who my audience is. So this is defining them explicitly, And another question we always have is like, why does nobody watch my content? Well, it's because you're guessing instead of solving an actual known problem. You're guessing that that's what people want or need. You know, if you keep changing niches, you're like, who am I? Like, what kind of content do I want to make? Where am I going? Well, these circles keep you focused. You know, you just you can always go back. Okay, there it is. Got it. These 3 things or whatever. And I feel like if you feel like you're not talking to anyone when you're talking to the camera, now you are. You know, you've named him. You can talk to that person. You can see that person in real life and you'd be like, that's Budget Bryce. I know him, right? So anyway, just a simple little thought exercise. And I hope this is helpful and you can carry this forward, and we'll see you in the next one.